friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Amy, and I'm glad you decided to join me for chapter 65 of the book that I wrote, Legends Orbs of the Elements. I hope everybody is having a wonderful Thursday. I know I'm going to be, because later I'm going to be going to see a movie called Marked Men, and it is based on a book series that I absolutely love by Jay Crownover. I am so excited to see this. If you love contemporary love stories and loved tattoos, or just something, a fresh take on contemporary and romance, I would go check out Marked Men, the movie. I think you might really enjoy it. But without further ado, because you guys are not here to hear about that, let's just jump right back into this adventure. And as always, if you are interested in learning where you can purchase this book for yourself or a friend, loved one, coworker, neighbor, anything like that, my bookmark just fell down. I will be leaving all that fun information at the end of the video. So without further ado, let's just jump right back into this adventure. Chapter 65. Leon awoke before any other in the camp. He tested his bowstring and made certain his quiver was full of arrows. He was heading out when he spied Castilia sleeping peacefully next to Jacob. He got close and bent on one knee and whispered in her ear, "Goodbye, my friend. May the elements always smile upon you with favor." Then he quietly moved on towards the fortress. He thought he was alone. Two figures cunningly followed. The hunter was just about on the outskirts of the camp when a twig snapped behind him. He turned to see who it was. He frowned when he discovered who it was. Castilia had told Ripplin, while they sat around the fire that previous night, to wake her if Leon attempted to leave the camp himself, if Ripplin had happened to be on sentry duty. "Why have you followed me?" Leon asked a little harshly. Ripplin put his hands in the air in a mock surrendering motion. "Don't blame me. It was her idea." Castilia shot Ripplin a hard glare and jabbed her elbow into Ripplin's ribs. "Thanks a lot. Leon, please understand. I want to help. Besides, who is going to watch your back?" she said, directing the last few words in Leon's direction. The hunter sighed in frustration. "Oh, you legends, I will never understand. I'm going to end this without further bloodshed for our allies." Castilia stared at him for a long, hard moment. "You make an excellent point, Hunter. I'll explain later. Right now, let's focus on our plan." Leon turned his attention back to the fortress. "All right, let's get going then." Castilia gave Ripplin a look. Ripplin looked right back at her. Castilia put a friendly hand on Ripplin's shoulder and spoke. Tell them we got too far ahead of you to track." Ripplin crossed his arms against his muscular chest. Ripplin responded, "You know they won't believe that." She leaned very close to him and kissed him softly on the cheek. He blushed. "I have faith in you, my friend." Without further instruction, she followed Leon. Once they were out of sight, Ripplin returned to the camp where the soldiers were beginning to stir. A light pinkish hue was now cresting upon the highlands. Dawn was approaching quickly. The two friends had snuck back into the fortress. Leon felt the hair on the back of his neck prickle. There were double the guards posted at every entryway. As they hid and waited for the coast to clear, the hunter had a question. Castilia, know this isn't the best time to be asking, but, what am I to do once the spell is broken?" Sorry, I had an itchy nose. The legend put her ear to the wall and listened. She was concentrating, but replied in a soft tone so only he could hear. You will release the elements that the orbs represent. Then they will ask you what you wish them to do. I want you to say this. It's important, Leon. Return from where you were created. Castilia gave him a quizzical look. What's that look for? She inquired. Leon replied, That's it? Castilia kept her ear to the wall. What were you expecting? Castilia said, with a bit of playfulness in her voice. Leon shrugged. I don't know. I just thought it would be more complex than that. She frowned. Come, we don't have much time. They jogged as fast and as quietly as they could to the room. 2 sentries stood alert with their weapons at the ready. Clearly, Nero had informed them to be ready for anything. The legend and Hunter peeked around the corner. Great. Now what are we going to do? Leon asked, discouraged evident in his voice. The legend did not reply, but put her pointer finger to her lips. Shh! Watch and wait. Leon nodded and remained silent. He looked on as she extended her hand and closed her eyes. Roca, Roca, she whispered over and over. A thin white wisp emerged from her fingertips and drifted around the 2 guards' ankle. They instantly turned to stone as the white wisp slowly crept on their bodies. Leon stared wide-eyed. He turned and smiled at her. Once the 2 were stone, she half turned to her friend. What? Castilia asked. Leon shook his head. Nothing. I was just thinking that I never want to be on your bad side. Hold on, Castilia. I have the spirit orb. So why are we here back at the black marble dragon statue? Castilia responded, because even though the spell is still upon the spirit orb, once you put the other in, the orb will recognize you are the true hunter and the spell will be broken. They stepped inside the room without further delay. Leon took the orbs out of the carrying case from beneath his shirt. He carefully opened the lid and slid the tray with the other 4 elements in it. They were all beautiful in their own right. Together they shone like jewels in a crown. Leon picked up the light blue water orb first. He could see waves crashing up inside the orb. That had never happened before. Castilia was kneeling by the doorway on one knee. She was preparing to release the enchantment she had in case need be. Next, Leon held the fire orb in his hands. As he did, he reflected on the challenges he had faced retrieving it. He could see flames burning He could see the flames burning intensely bright, with much heat radiating from it. He placed it gently in the statue. Next, he cupped the land orb. He held the great western plains he longed to see again, to be able to run his hand on the long, flowing, billowing wild grasslands. He placed the beautiful land orb in the next empty slot on the statue. The air orb was next. As he brought it to the statue, he could see trees blowing with the mighty wind, sails from boats filled with gusts of wind in the air. He nestled this orb next to the land orb. The time had come. Leon peered at the spirit orb at his feet. Castilia trotted over to him. They each stretched out their hands to the orb. She took hold of Leon's hand that wasn't stretched out. Repeat after me, Leon, the best you can. Leon nodded. Be libre, she enchanted, and Leon repeated her words until they were saying it in harmony. A great dark wind blew out of the orb and disappeared with an ear-piercing, shrieking cry of agony. The 2 friends had to let go of each other's hands to cover their ears. Then the noise died away. The orb rolled back to Leon, so it was in front of Leon's feet. Castilia got to her feet first and was softly rubbing her ears. It's all right, Leon. You can pick it up now. The hunter got on his knee and did like he was instructed. As soon as his fingers made contact with the orb, he could see many familiar faces that had died, which included his father, his brother, and the flyer that had helped him and that he had tried to help. They all appeared peaceful and content. Leon's heart beat like a galloping horse. His hand shook slightly with anticipation. A distant noise caught Castilia's attention. She drew her sword in a sharp practice move. Ring, bong, ring, bong. Alarm bells told out the news. Soldiers' voices and the clattering of armor and boots could be heard coming from the south wall. Leon now wasted no time and hurriedly placed the last orb in the dragon's claw. A great many brilliant lights filled the room. The lights bounced off the orbs. Both Leon and Castilia had to shield their eyes. Then, from the middle of the room, an echoey voice filled the area. It had no distinction of being male or female. Hunter of the orbs, you have fulfilled your task. What is your wish? Leon gave a sideways glance at Castilia, who was in a half bow with her eyes closed. Leon cautiously approached. Once Leon was closer to the statue and to the brilliant light, then like Castilia, he too did a half bow and briefly shut his eyes and responded to them. Reopened them. I wish for you to return from where you were created, he said in a clear, confident voice. He chanced to glance up. He could distinguish the different lights dancing like that of the northern lights. He felt all kinds of emotion entering and exiting his body. It was very moving, almost spiritual enlightenment feeling. The voice replied in a booming tone of voice that shook the earth. The hunter has spoken! With a mighty gust of energy, the orbs trembled and cracked and eventually broke in half, and the lights circled all around them and bathed them in the colorful light. Boom! The dragon marble statue shook and burst apart like a volcano erupting. A second later, the lights vanished. Leon was shaking like a leaf. Castilia brushed debris from her body. She once again drew near to her friend. He stared at Castilia in disbelief because she wore a face of pure calmness. In a sisterly manner, she hugged Leon's shoulder and patted his back. We've got to go, Leon. We, or rather, you, have just tipped the scales. The urgency in her voice shook Leon out of his shock and got up and followed his friend out of the room as swiftly as lightning. So that is all the chapter for today. Thank you so much for listening. If you like this story and want to continue on with it on your own, my book can be purchased on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, Apple iBooks, and lots of other places books are sold online. If you are also interested in continuing on with learning about how I created the characters and setting and the different aspects that I use in my book, magical aspects, or how I created and came up with the different weaponry, I have a Facebook page dedicated to all things about that subject matter. I go into detail how I created and crafted these things. Each article is as spoiler-free as possible, so that if you are interested in learning more about how I came up with like the names of Castilia and Leon, or how I created the black magic that Nero uses. I have articles all about that. and all the articles are as spoiler free as possible. So if you are enjoying this book but don't want to, but think you might be spoiled by that, there is no chance of that. I so enjoy writing the articles. It's so fun. I also have polls that I do, meaning that I just recently did a poll of what baddie do the followers like more? Do you guys like Prince Nero more or Wizard Blinken? Fun stuff like that. So if you are interested, please go check it out. That would help me out a lot. If you are just interested in other videos that I post a lot of Disney videos. I do book related videos, not other book related videos not concerning my book. I do life videos, meaning I film videos talking about the different activities that I do with just the use of my left hand because I am a right hemiplegic. I go into details in how I generally show my subscribers and whatnot how I do a task just using my one hand that everybody with two working hands would just take for granted. So if any of that sounds fun or interesting to you, please check out all my other videos. And if you aren't subscribed, please consider subscribing. That helps my channel out a lot. I'm also planning on doing a big fun giveaway when I reach 200 subscribers, and I'm well on my way to getting there. So if you want a chance to win, think about subscribing, or if you guys know any, if your friends are interested in the kind of content that I just said, please send them my way. Think about subscribing. All that fun stuff helps. Yeah, so like I said, that is all the video for today. Thank you so much for watching. And as they say in my book, may the elements protect you. And I will see you guys tomorrow for another episode. Bye-bye for now, everyone.